Canton and the Billings Central Rams, 31-21 the final in that one. And Tyson, that was interesting. Billings Central opened the season with Frenchtown and Billings and absolutely clobbered them. Yeah. But boy, oh boy, Frenchtown found an answer, did they not?
Well, here's the thing. Frenchtown ended, I believe it was a 23-game win streak with the Billings Central Rams. And so congratulations to Frenchtown.
First down from the 23 for the Bobcats. Just underway, second quarter. Thomas goes in motion. Watson flips it out there, and boy, Julio just blew that play up inside the 15-yard line. The catch was made by Justin Anderson, but Julio is there, and he reads it perfectly.
Oh, coming up from his safety position, he read it, honestly, saw the ball up in the air, and came up for the hit. What a great play from the safety position.
Julio leads the team with 5 interceptions, but obviously can get it done in contain as well with a nice open field tackle. So loss at 3, second and 13, ball at the 20, and all of a sudden, Tyson, it's the defenses that have started to take this game over in quarter number 2.
Yeah, again, they were kind of filling each other out there in the first quarter, and now the defensive coordinators have made some great adjustments.
Watson throws back the other way. That was a well-designed play to Anderson. Anderson with the catch up to the 30-yard line, so a gain of 10. And that sets up a very manageable 3rd and 3. Now, a nice job here as Watson rolls to his right, but then throws back across the grain.
And then you had that of Larson coming up from his corner spot to get the tackle before the first down, leaving the Bobcats with a short and 3.
Anderson, 34 catches coming in, 3rd best on the team. And a couple of touchdowns, 3rd and 3 from the 30. Watson in the gun on 3rd down. Now he backs off, looks over to the sidelines to pick up the play.
And they called a timeout.
Yeah, they call a timeout. Draylon Martin was in the backfield making his first appearance this afternoon.
And Carroll was in a 3-4 defense. They had 3 down linebackers and 4 linebackers, or 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. And apparently you had Watson taking a look, and it just didn't match up with the play call. And so a lot of times, when in doubt, call the timeout.
Well, the winner of the 4 first-round games today will advance and join the other 12 teams that had first-round byes. So the field moves to 16 after today. And, of course, we won't know where anyone is going until the pairings are announced tomorrow. And teams that win will find out where they're ticketed for the second round. So the Bobcats use the first of their 3 timeouts here in the first half. And a big play here, 3rd and 3. They would love to extend the drive. So here's Watson, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Surveys the field on 3rd down. Let's see what they bring. Going to shift Henderson across, and they go to him. And he is met and tripped up, and I think he's going to be short of the first down. A great individual play by Daxon Graham, and Graham with the open field tackle. They will mark him a yard short.
That was a great play by the corner over there with Graham, keeping him from getting the first down. And all you had was Justin Anderson just doing an out route from his tight end position and just wasn't able to get up the field far enough to get the first down before Graham was able to stop him short.
Aller standing inside his 20-yard line will kick it away, apparently, on 4th and 1. Connor Sullivan standing at his 25 to receive. And now a whistle prior.
You were using the wrong football.
Well, we can't have that.
We can't have that, no.
So back 5 yards they go to the 26-yard line, and they'll line it up and do it again. So Carroll should come away with decent field position here. His Aller is standing inside his 15-yard line.
Yeah, both these defenses
Been
have
really
really
good.
stepped up, and it's going to be up to the offenses on seeing what kind of big plays they can make.
And Sullivan fields it inside his 30. Sidesteps a man to the 35. On his feet to the 40. To the 45. To the 48-yard line. What a return by Sully to give the Saints great field position here. 12 minutes to play second quarter. Carroll College with the football when we come back. Our keys to the game today brought to you by Butte Auto. Easy to find off I-90 at the Harrison Avenue exit in Butte. Find your next ride at Butte Auto. Go on down to Butte Auto and kick a tire or two. First down from the 48-yard line for the Saints. Great field position for Caden Hewitt in the offense. And Hewitt flips it out here to Ochoa, and Ochoa slides off one tackle and gets down to the 45-yard line. Jeremiah Noel had him behind the line of scrimmage but couldn't bring him down.
The key to that was Lincoln Holmes from his wide receiver position, was able to get his hands on the corner and get the block to where release Ochoa up the field.
Minert gets to the edge. Flag comes in at the 40-yard line. Would be a first down, but hold on. In the area of holding, we'll see what the call is. And it does indeed. So the penalty negates what would have been a first down in Bobcat territory. Backs it up to the 45-yard line.
In the first quarter, this is how well the defenses are playing right now. You had St. Thomas that was held to 17 plays for only 73 yards, and Carroll was only held to 16 plays and 59 yards.
Yeah, and most of those, Tyson, came on that opening drive when they scored. So 2nd and 13. Hewitt steps up into the pocket and now is going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, a great job defensively there. That was Zach Marino, who came straight up the middle, applied the pressure, gets the sack, and now it's going to be 3rd and a mile as Carroll needs to get all the way to the 42. Watch Marino.
And that was just a time blitz. Okay, you had your tackle go to the left, which opened up for the linebacker to come through the gap, taking that offensive lineman away from the play, and then Marino just going right up the middle for the sack.
Marino, their leading tackler, with 11 and a half tackles for loss. Make it 12 and a half after that one. 3rd and 20 from the 38. Here's Hewitt. Gonna air one out for a Colchin, who makes the catch inside the 20-yard line. What a grab inside the 20 for Chris Colchin, the leading receiver for the Saints, as he lays out and makes a spectacular catch and a first down.
Hewitt had a lot of time in the pocket. He was able to set up his feet. Akuchin was just able to run what we call a skinny route right up the seam for the completion.
And there's Hewitt, quarterback keeper, inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. So Caden Hewitt, man, he has done a great job on play action, RPO, and able to pick up a big gain there. And
a lot of credit to that offensive line for giving him the timing to throw the ball.
Xavier Ford. Ford breaking a tackle at the 10, stays on his feet. And that is right at the first down mark. I think they're going to give it to him. Forward progress was to the 9, so that's going to set up first and goal for the Saints. Carroll going to that hurry-up offense and catching the Bobcats off guard on a fast-moving drive here. First and goal from the 9. Coach Purcell and his staff opening up the playbook here this afternoon, showing you a little bit of everything.
Well, they probably learned a lot from the last 2 games and what's going to work, especially when they played against College of Idaho and then kind of had that stagnant offense last week. So they've made some adjustments.
Timeout taken by Carroll, their first of the half. They have 2 remaining as they'll gather over there and rethink what they're going to run here. So the Saints with that beautiful catch by Chris Akulchin, the leading receiver on the team, coming into this afternoon.
One thing that we were talking about is how is the atmosphere here in Helena going to affect that of the Bobcat team, because from South Florida they're right at sea level, and now we're up at 4,500 feet above. And is this going to affect? Now here's the pass that sets us up. Hewitt.
Great catch.
Yep.
Catch.
And again, that was just a skinny post to where instead of a good angle, he ran past the safety and was wide open for the catch.
So first and goal from the 8-yard line. You can see the some of the younger fans here at Nelson Stadium enjoying the slippery slope of the. Yeah. That's running hills the fun way.
That's the fun way. I wish we were able to do that. I remember running hills every day.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. And they throw to the back of the end zone for Wilkinson, incomplete, second down. So they go play action, try to find Wilkinson in the back of the end zone. Incomplete pass, sets up second down. I'm not giving Chris Ochoa his props. We said Ocholkin was the leading receiver. He is the second receiver behind Ochoa. 45 catches coming in, but he has had some big plays this year, and none bigger than the long pass and catch that sets up this second and goal from the 8-yard line. Holmes comes across. Hewitt looks, plenty of time, now steps up, fires, end zone, and touchdown, Carroll College. As they score for the second time, Xavier Ford comes sliding across the back of the end zone, and Hewitt, with plenty of time, stayed patient and finally found him. I know he wasn't the number one receiver in that pattern, but Hewitt had all kinds of time. Here it is again.
And so Ford came all the way from the right of your screen in the back of the end zone, and no, he was not the number one receiver in the check down. So Hewitt looked at his 1, his 2, couldn't find him, weren't open, found Ford in the back of the end zone.
And check that, I said Xavier Ford, that was Lincoln Holmes that gets the touchdown. So Hewitt to Holmes for 7. Carroll leads at 14-3, 8:50 to play here in the first half. Welcome back to this first round NAI playoff game here in Helena at Nelson Stadium. Carroll College finding that offense that's been lacking the last couple of weeks. They push across their second touchdown of the afternoon, now leading 14-3 over St. Thomas.
Got some young Carroll College St. players looking on.
Liking what they see so far. We'll see what the Bobcats can do to answer. As we said, very prolific team offensively, coming in averaging 41 points a game, nearly 400 yards a game of offense. This ball is going to get handled in the back of the end zone, and Thomas not able to bring it back out, so the touchback gives St. Thomas. We talked about all the success Carroll College has had over the years, all those national championships. And here at Nelson Stadium, Carroll College, and you talked about it at the top of the show, Tyson, they've won 81% of their games right here in the friendly confines. And this is a tough place to play, let alone making a 2,700-mile trip to come here and play. It is tough to roll in here and come away with a win. But the Bobcats very much in this, trailing 14-3. Plenty of time here in the first half to get something going. Watson fires out there quickly, and they run a little inside screen. And Braden Orlandi, the Frontier Conference Defensive Player of the Year, makes the nice open field tackle at the 26. Flag on the play.
And that was just a screen play to Hayes, in which a lot of times you use your screen plays as your running plays.
Tough penalty for St. Thomas. Holding is the call, and that will back St. Thomas up to the 15-yard line. 1st and 20. 8:43 to play here in the second quarter. Lopez in the backfield. First down. And a nice little slant pattern and a catch up to the 31-yard line. And they get a big chunk of that back as they complete it to Fox Harrington.
The 30-yard line.
Yeah, just another simple 6-yard slant. Gets in between that of the corner, behind the linebacker for an easy pitch catch.
Yeah, 15-yard gain on the play, so 2nd and 5 as they move it up to the 30. Bobcats needed a big play, and they got one there. They'll stay on the ground. Lopez keeps those feet churning. He is close to the first down, and from the spot, looks like he might have it at the 35-yard line.
And that's what we call just a double G, to where you had both your guards pulling on that play. And as you can see, you had 59 up out front, but you leave the D end open, and your play side guard takes the defensive end out. Then you have the backside guard rolling around, being the lead backer, getting up to the linebackers. And then you got the running back right behind them, in which it was a great play call, got them the first down.
Julio eventually got him down, but they do pick up the first down from the 35-yard line. Watson straight drop, feels pressure, goes underneath, and Braden Orlandi is right there. Justin Anderson made the catch, but Orlandi drags him down for just a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, I tell you what, being able to watch Orlandi the last couple of weeks, he is a real deal safety. He plays great coverage. He reads the offensive plays really well. But the big thing, not only with him, is that he could come up and punish you in the run game.
112 tackles to lead the Saints defensively, and makes the stop there.
I don't even think I had that in 4 years.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Watson feels pressure by Suero, now fumbles the football, and the Saints fall on it, and they create yet another turnover.
Well, Suero, coming from his D-line position, coming from behind, being able to knock the ball from behind, knocking the ball out for the recovery for the Saints in Great field position.
Yeah, that was an outstanding play by Suero, who just reached in there and hammered that ball away. Rocky Shields falls on it at the 33-yard line. So again, another turnover by the Bobcats gives the Saints great field position. Now they just have scored, coming off their score to up the lead to 14-3, and now a chance to really extend the lead here with 6:17 to play in quarter number 2.
And you know, Suero, a 5'11", 260 pounds. I didn't think he could move that fast.
Well, he did.
Wow.
Now here comes pressure by Marino, who makes another great play. And the Bobcats' best defensive player answers. Zach Marino gets his second tackle for loss on the afternoon.
And he plays a weak side linebacker position, and that was a called blitz, in which that was very impressive from him coming all the way across the field like that behind the line of scrimmage to run down Hewitt for the tackle.
So the loss is all the way back to the 42-yard line. Second down and 19. 5.5 to play in the second quarter. Pressure comes up the middle. Hewitt to Ochoa. He read it perfectly. Ochoa breaking tackles, takes it down to the 31.
Well, they brought Marino again on a blitz. And so Ochoa, he released from his tight end position, and he replaced where the linebacker came from, and he sat down for Hewitt to find, throw him the ball, so he was in open position, coverage left, and gave them good yardage.
So that sets up third and manageable, 3rd and 8 for Carson Ochoa. Hewitt and throws underneath for a chalk and incomplete pass. Good coverage back there by Keon Martin. That's going to bring up 4th down. Let's see what they do here.
Chalk, and that was a very hard pass to try to grab because it was more thrown out in front and really way too low for him to hold on to.
Offense will stay on the field at 4th and 8 from the 42. This is a huge play for both teams. Boy, if the Bobcats can turn the Saints away after the turnover,
maybe get a little momentum on their side.
That's a big stand if they can hold him here. Here comes the blitz. Hewitt reads it perfectly and tried to get it to Ochoa, who was running down the seam, but incomplete, and St. Thomas takes over on downs.
Now that's a big stop for the Bobcats, being able to get the ball back into the offensive hands. The big question now is, can the Bobcats use this as momentum for this series for them?
Yeah, the defense has come up with some big plays to keep the Saints in check for a good part of the first half, but they haven't been able to capitalize when they've gotten the football back. So
this is a good opportunity for this offense to start something.
You got 4:42 to go here in the first half, so plenty of time, couple of timeouts in their pocket. And here's Watson out of the gun on first down. And they give to Lopez. Lopez picks up 2 on the play, 2nd and 8.
Lopez is a big kid to take down, and he is a hard runner. He lowers the shoulder pads, and he's not afraid to just try to run over you, then try to go around you.
Well, what's fun about the NAI in playoffs is teams geographically are separated so far apart, and they don't see each other during the regular season. And you really don't know. You can look at all the film in the world, but you really don't know the level of quality of play from conference to conference until they go head-to-head. And this one, so far, has been pretty evenly matched. Here's Watson. Fires across the middle. Got a man at a first down and then some. Nice slant pattern by Harrington. And Harrington with the catch and a first down to the 45-yard line.
And those slant patterns in this pass plays are kind of their bread and butter right now. That's how they're able to move the ball down the field. I'm surprised that we won't be seeing a little bit more of that, maybe even giving the ball a little bit more to Lopez. But, you know, the Carroll secondary is doing a pretty good job on locking down, but still you got to be very wary of the speed coming from these wide receivers.
So from the 46, first down. 3:20 and counting. Watson's got a man open, incomplete pass. They ran Lopez out of the backfield and kind of ran a seam route down the middle, but just overthrew him. Had the right idea, though.
It was the right idea, but you also had 3 defenders wrapped around that pass. And so it was a tight window. He was able to get it there, but just a little bit out of the reach of Lopez on that pass.
2nd and 10 on the incomplete pass. And here's Watson now. Straight drop, fires across the middle, complete but tackled immediately. And guess who? Braden Orlandi. He found out he was the Frontier Conference Player of the Year and decided, well, I better play like it today.
Hey, he's got huge expectations on his shoulders right now. Now on that last play, we had Carroll. Carroll brought both linebackers up the middle, and then that's when the tight end, number 15, Justin Anderson, released from his tight end position and settled right there in the linebackers that left the vacant area, sat down, got the pass to him for a short gain.
Anderson has had nowhere to go after the catch. Here's 3rd down. Pressure up the middle, and this is to a wide open receiver and a touchdown for the Bobcats. Boy, did they read that perfectly, and Harrington is in the end zone for the touchdown. What a play by the quarterback there, as Keely Watson was feeling all kinds of pressure straight up the middle, released it perfectly, and Harrington gets behind the defense and scores the touchdown.
Well, and in this route, it was kind of a give and go. So he got up the field at 8 yards, settled down. You had that of Graham, that bit on the play, and then he released up the field, giving him about two-yard cushion, a great thrown pass, and then in for the touchdown.
Alvarez on for the extra point. Kick is up and through, and it comes with just 2:25 to play here in the first half. And that was a huge answer for the Bobcats, and you dial it back a few minutes. Of course, Carroll College got the turnover deep in St. Thomas territory. Bobcats get a stop on 4th down and then capitalize as they go the length of the field. Here's the touchdown again.
Here's the touchdown. There's the kind of little give and go, and now you can see the cushion that was given. Okay, and it was a good pass. And then it was just a sprint to the end zone. I loved it, but Graham just bit on that little juke, came up, and then you had Fox Harrington just do a go route, and there's not much you can do, and there's no safety help over the top.
Well, what a game we've got going on here in Helena this afternoon. 14-10. Saints lead is cut to 4. 2:25 to go in the first half, and still time for Carroll to put something together before the end of the first half as they get the ball back.
And the Bobcats did a really nice job. Good play calling by the offensive coordinator, working the ball down. They mixed up the run and pass, and then got the home run hit.
And this will be downed by Sullivan. Well, a big hit right at the end of the play, and this is going to go against Carroll College. A big pop at the end of the play.
From here, it kind of looked like they may call it like a blindside block.
Yeah,
Wasn't ready for it, and one of the Carroll players popped a Bobcat player and hurt it.
Yeah, it was a big hit. It was down at the 20-yard line. It came after Sullivan had downed the ball, so play came after the play. So that'll back the Saints up to the 13-yard line, and now they may rethink what they want to do here.
Well, you got plenty of time, 2:25. You got the 2-minute timeout going into halftime. You got 2 timeouts.
Yep, plenty of time. And Hewitt's got all kinds of real estate out there to the 20-yard line. Picks up 8 on the play, 2nd and 2. That's been the one play that St. Thomas has not been able to defend today, and that's that play action by Hewitt who keeps the football, and he has had a lot of room to the outside to run the ball. Now the Saints will take this down to the 2-minute timeout. Still 2 timeouts remaining for the Saints. 2nd and 3 when we come back. Saints with the football. Carroll College with a 2nd and 3 from the 20-yard line with 2 minutes to play in the first half, leading 14-10 there at Nelson Stadium.
We got quite a game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Loving this first half.
We'll see how aggressive Carroll is, and they go right back to Hewitt, and Hewitt bowls his way for the first down, and he's not a small dude, 6'3", 210, the junior from right here in Helena. What a get he was, transferring in from the University of Montana, playing in front of his hometown fans, and he has just gotten better as the season's gone on. Hewitt now feels pressure, and he's going to be wrapped up and taken down for a loss on the play. Nice job defensively by Daryl Dunbar, and Dunbar gets the tackle for loss back to the 15-yard line, and that'll set up 3rd and 10.
Hewitt just got into the pocket, but there was so much pressure getting to him that he wasn't able to look down the field to find anybody open. And by that time, you had Dunbar wrapped up around him, pulling him down. The best thing and the smart thing as a quarterback, don't force it. Don't try to do anything outside of your realm. Tuck the ball and just go down.
Yeah, and the clock is running now, 1:11 and counting. And Hewitt got some room again. Quarterback keeper all the way. Gets it out to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Hewitt being the leading rusher.
Well, he is by a long shot today. So the ball's at the 24. They need to make the 35 for the line to gain. So
you have a decision by the coaching staff for the Saints. Are you going to run the ball, just run down the clock, or are you still going to put the pedal down and try to get within maybe a field goal within the kicker's range?
Well,
try to get it down? Or
if you go conservative and run the ball, St. Thomas can use one of its 2 timeouts, get the ball back with decent field position and a timeout in their pocket. So, yeah, you're right. It's 3rd and a long way to go here. They need 11. They need the 35 for a first down. So
I'm assuming, as a previous coach, that you're going to try to dial up a play to where it's going to be a pass play. You're going to try to get your receivers around the 35-yard line to catch the ball. If they get tackled, you get a first down. Clock has to stop to change the sticks, and then you could be able to get a play call in right away.
Well, let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down for Hewitt. And he is back to pass, and he indeed airs this one out, and it is intercepted. Intercepted at the 47-yard line. Boy, this has been a a game of turnovers. Rashard Farmer stepped in front of it, got the interception, and the Bobcats have the football in Saints territory. Let's take a look at it again.
Here's the play. He's just throwing it up, hoping that we had an open receiver. Your safety, Farmer, comes on over underneath the coverage, goes up for the pick. Now, again, that was kind of a risky play call just because you're now going to give the Bobcats the ball in your own territory to where possibly running or even a shorter pass, you could have punted, and given your defense a little bit more help coming into the series.
53 seconds to go in the first half. St. Thomas still has 2 timeouts remaining. Ball at the 45-yard line of Carroll. And Watson now. He's going to fire out here in the flat, and that is complete. What do they call?
That's interesting. When I saw him go for the ball, he jumped. He didn't have any feet in bounds, and so when he caught the ball, he went out of bounds.
Yeah, incomplete pass. Nice catch.
Yeah, great catch.
Nice catch.
He just couldn't get a foot down.
Yep, by Harrington, 2nd and 10. Bobcats being aggressive here. It's looking for more here late in the second. Watson now fires out there, complete to Lopez, who stays on his feet. And he winds up and delivers a shot. Oh, Julio just took a big hit at the end of this play. Watch this.
Here he comes. I'm going to tackle you. Nope, I'm going to go backwards. But hey, you use the sideline as your 12th defensive player. As long as you can get him pushed out, you're good, but just don't risk yourself doing it.
So Lopez, the game down to the 30, first down. 41 seconds to go. Watson with time, looking, fires across the middle, and he has got Thomas. And Thomas with the catch and out of bounds inside the 15.
Boy, I tell you what, that pass was between 2 defenders. Snuck it right in between, over pursuit. Nice catch.
First down. Watson again across the middle for Harrington, who makes the catch. Check that. That was Anderson on the catch. And Anderson to the 10-yard line.
And that was your tight end. He was in a slot position. It was just a quick slant again. 5-yard cut right in the middle, right over we had man coverage, so he was able to beat his man in the middle of the field for the catch and giving you a second medium.
Nemesek in on the tackle, and the Bobcats immediately use a timeout.
Boy, this interception is going to play huge going into halftime.
Well, it is, and the ball sitting at the 10-yard line, 2nd and 6. St. Thomas now using their final timeout. So with 18 ticks, though, you've got a couple of shots into the end zone here before you have to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, second down. You got your second down, your third down, into the end zone. One of two things is going to happen. You're going to score, or you get an incomplete pass that's going to kill the clock. You come into the third down, same thing. And then if neither one of those happen, those options happen, then you get the field goal to cut the lead down by 1.
So 2nd and 6 from the 10-yard line. 18 seconds to play here in the first half. No timeouts remaining for the Bobcats. Watson steps up, keeps the ball, now runs, stretching, touchdown Bobcats. Keely Watson on the quarterback keeper takes it in from 10 yards out, and I'll tell you what, Tyson, if he doesn't get in the end zone, that might be the end of the half.
Well, and here's the thing. So he drops back. He looked at his first option, second option, third option. Nothing is there. You can see his eyes roaming. He couldn't find anybody, but he saw that alley that was wide open. Everyone dropped back in coverage. No one there to spy the quarterback, and he runs in for the touchdown.
Alvarez on for the extra point. And the kick is up and good. So with 11 seconds to play here in the second quarter, this game has turned. And the Bobcats have taken the lead for the first time today at 17-14. What a way to close the half. They get the stop on the Saints, come down, and get the go-ahead touchdown right before the break. Kind of a shell-shocked Saints team right now. They were in control, I think, defensively
of the game.
For most of the first half.
Now, when you go in at halftime here, because I imagine what's going to happen here, you're going to receive the kick, nail the ball down, go in, regroup, and as a coach, this game is not over by any means for either side, because both teams are scoring, both defenses are holding when they're supposed to hold, and so we're going to stay with the same schematics that we came in with. We'll maybe make a couple of small adjustments, but stick with the things that have been working. You may open up the playbook a little bit more because as some of us coaches, we got our first half play sheet, and then we got our second half play sheet, so we'll probably see some plays that we haven't seen yet come up in the second half.
All right, we'll see what happens here with 11 seconds to go. Ball comes down, and Sullivan's going to bring it out from the end zone to the 15, to the 20. On his feet to the 30, to the 40, to the 45, to midfield, to the 40, still on his feet. Finally taken down at the 35-yard line. How about that return by Connor Sullivan? And he's taken down with 1 second to go here in the first half, and that's going to give Caden Hewitt one shot into the end zone.
And the biggest thing that opened that up was Chris Ajukskin that got a block down at the 35-yard line, took the defender or the kickoff guy out of bounds, opened up an alleyway to where we're able to get another 30 yards on the return. What a great block.
So 1 second remaining from the 35-yard line. And now play will stop as the Saints will use a timeout. Coach Purcell bring the team over. Now Hewitt has got more than enough arm to get it into the end zone from the 35 where the ball sits.
But see, Coach Purcell, when he was looking at them lining up with the play call, what he was doing is he was looking down in the end zone, and they had 4 defenders down there. So he knew that play wasn't going to work, called a timeout. I imagine he's going to come back with maybe more of a medium to short pass and see where it goes.
Coming up at halftime, we'll check in with Carroll Sports Information Director Conlon Burke. He'll join us. We'll also hear from Montana Tech head coach Kyle Sampson. They have the week off, and we'll find out who they will meet in the first round next week in Butte, and, of course, first half highlights. So here we go again with 1 second remaining. And look for Hewitt. Everybody for the Bobcats secondary all the way back into the end zone. Hewitt rolls right to buy time and now throws it up in the air. End zone. And that is caught. Is it a touchdown? Yes, it is. Are you kidding me? Chris Okolchin comes down with the batted ball and scores a touchdown with 1 second to go in the half.
Wow. And this is what we call at the end of the game as an offensive group. Hey, get the ball, bounce it around a little bit, have someone come underneath to grab the loose ball. We see the replay here. He's looking, he's waiting for his receivers to get downfield. Hail Mary pass into the end zone. It gets batted around a little bit. Oh, Altuskin right at the right place at the right time and getting the ball for the touchdown. The Bobcats are in shock.
Well, that's exactly how you draw it up. You throw it up, hope that it gets batted.
And as a defensive player, you're taught, knock the ball down. Just knock it down. Don't try to do anything heroic.
Achulkin with the touchdown grab, and Carroll College up 21-17. A wild first half here in Helena. Stick around. Halftime is next. He is talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And welcome back to Nelson Stadium here in Helena. What a wild first half of football. Carroll College on top of St. Thomas 21-17. 2 touchdowns were scored in the last 18 seconds of the second quarter. The last one on the Hail Mary. Akulchin brings it down for the go-ahead touchdown, and the Saints are on top. Now recovering from a mild form of heart failure is Saints Sports Information Director Conlon Burke. Have you ever seen an end of a half quite like this one?
Not in the last 5 years, not in this stadium. I guess the closest we'd have would be the kind of the end of the game of the last time these two teams met.
That's
2
right.
years ago.
Yeah, 26-23, and I believe was the final in that one. And for Carroll College, the NAI playoffs, it's a staple for this program, and what a gorgeous afternoon here in Helena. One of 4 games being played across the country today, and then the winners will advance on. So the job one is to get there. Your team is here.
Yeah, they did it. They got it done. It's been 11 long years since we've been able to host a game here at this storied facility. It's just so good to have playoff football back here in Helena. All feels right in the world, right?
Well, not just football, but so much going on this fall. I know you're a busy guy wearing a lot of different hats. And basketball season is well underway. The volleyball Frontier Conference tournament just wrapped up last week. Softball as well. So you're a busy guy moving from venue to venue.
Yeah, crossover season. It's been as busy as it can be here. We hosted the Frontier Volleyball Championships on SWX all last week. We got basketball on the road right now. Both teams, they went out and got big-time wins at Dickinson State last night. The women had a 28-point victory. The men won by 26. So they got Bismarck State tonight for the first time. New NAIA member, new Frontier member. Should be a fun one, 4-6 tonight.
Well, and that's been the real joy of covering Frontier Conference this fall is all the new teams and the new alignments. And like you said, seeing brand new programs for the very first time.
Yeah, and I think it's an exciting time, but it's also, it comes with its set of challenges. The geographic footprint of the Frontier is very large. Logistically, we're learning some things as we go. But yeah, it's exciting. It's always good to get fresh blood into the mix, and a very competitive top to bottom Frontier Conference across pretty much every sport.
Yeah, we were talking about on our show earlier this week, 3 teams got into the postseason in football from the Frontier, College of Idaho, yourselves, and Montana Tech. But at one time or another, there were 7 teams of the 14 that were ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, and it's a meat grinder league. The 2 divisions, to have 4 teams right there. I thought Western was right on the edge. I thought they should have been in. Frontier guy myself.
Yeah.
It's a fun league to play in. Some really, really good football here.
Appreciate you taking a moment to swing by, and best of luck in the second half, and appreciate you hosting us again today.
Yes, thank you guys for having me up here. I don't know why I'm on, but
glad to have you. Conlon Burke, Sports Information Director at Carroll College, as we are at halftime here in Helena. Stick around. Halftime rolls on SWX. When we continue, we'll visit with Montana Tech head coach Kyle Sampson. He's got the week off. We'll talk to him next. Halftime here in Helena. Saints on top 21-17 in a first-round matchup, one of 4 going on across the country. Now, Montana Tech, champions of the Eastern Division of the Frontier Conference, they've got the week off. Not sure who they will play. We checked in earlier this week with Montana Tech head coach Kyle Sampson on the week off.
It is kind of an interesting spot where it's not a bracket, so you don't know exactly who you're going to play. And that's difficult as a coach because you want to be preparing for a team or at least have 2 teams you think you might play. So really there's 8 teams that we know we could play depending on who wins this weekend. So that's really hard to say you're going to break down 8 different teams. But I do like where we sit with the ability to host, at least a couple games and potentially all of them depending on what happens in front of us. But, I really believe we've got a great home field advantage here in Butte and can't wait to, have that place sold out for that second round playoff game.
Coach, at one point or another during the year, there were 7 teams in the top 25. That's half that's half the league. That's amazing.
I think it just speaks to the talent in this league by the players, and also there's some great coaches in this league, and I have a ton of respect for them. And for me, it's a Montana pride thing. I mean, I know we've expanded so far now, but the core of our teams are in Montana, and the origin of the Frontier Conference is Montana, and I think it just speaks to high school football and also the high school coaches in this state. I mean, we're excited to go out and watch some state championship games this Friday as a staff. And, so a big kudos and thanks to those high school coaches. I don't think the Frontier Conference would be what it would be without those high school coaches.
I think it's the quality of Montana players, the ability to get them to these Frontier schools and play, throw in the coaching they get in high school, and it adds up to a hell of a lot of success.
Yeah, I was, fortunate to play for my father for high school and at Capital and then at Northern, and I still believe what my dad did at Northern is one of the absolute best coaching jobs in the history of this conference, to take a team that, really hadn't won to get us to the national playoffs in 3 short years, and the only time that Northern's, ever been in the national playoffs. And so that's something that we take a lot of pride in. And then, honestly, I was very fortunate. He gave me my first job. I got to coach up there for 7 years. And then when I was fortunate enough to get the Flathead high school job, I learned so much there, because I was a high school or a college assistant and then going to be a head coach in high school. Whereas, you wear so many hats and you got to deal with so many different things. But man, it taught me so many things. And I wouldn't be the coach that I am today without, number one, my father, but number 2, just the ability to have the experience coaching high school football in this state.
Great to have a week off, I'm sure. Rest up, heal up, get ready for next week, and best of luck going through this playoff run.
And I really appreciate you having me on today, and thanks for all you guys do with the tremendous coverage, college and high school this year. I know that, it goes a long way, because there's some families that can't make the game or can't make the drive, and to be able to have the great coverage that you guys have to showcase high school and college in this state is pretty incredible. So I really appreciate that.
All right, so Montana Tech head coach Kyle Sampson with the week off, and they'll await their opponent when we find out the pairings for the second round. Carroll on top by 4, 21-17. Halftime rolls on from Helena. Halftime score, Carroll College leads it 21-17 over St. Thomas. A great, exciting first half of NAIA playoff football. Winner moves on, season over for the loser of this game, and no shortage of highlights to take a look at in the first half. And it was the Bobcats from St. Thomas. Well, they played well really on both sides of the football, and here's their fine quarterback, Keely Watson, going back the other way, and the catch is made by Justin Anderson. And then this play right here, Tyson, and that is what put the Wolves on top. Beautiful play.
Yep, just a give and go, and got the corner sucking in on the first move.
And the Wolves kept it up on offense, working the ball down the field. And then with 18 seconds remaining in the half, Keely Watson on the quarterback keeper, giving the Wolves the lead. And then more of the same here. Watson again. This time, pass is intercepted. Turnover is a big key in the first half for both teams.
And that's what set up both these scoring drives, or the interceptions that happened.
Carson Ochoa back of the end zone for the touchdown for Carroll College. That was the first touchdown of the game for Carroll. And then Caden Hewitt didn't have great numbers, but boy, when he had to make a play, a Colchin with an outstanding catch there. And that kept the drive alive. And Hewitt again steps up into the pocket, finds Lincoln Holmes. Holmes with the touchdown catch. And they still weren't done. Finally, on the last play of the first half, here it is. From the 35-yard line, the ball batted right into the hands of a Colchin, who makes the catch, and that gives Carroll College the lead at the break. 21-17. How about that first half? No shortage of big plays by both teams.
Both teams, and really when it comes to stats, they're pretty even all the way down.
All right, settle in. One half of football in the books. Third quarter coming up straight ahead. It is close on the scoreboard. It is close by the numbers, Tyson. And if you look, pretty evenly matched game.
It is. It's really even in every category. A couple of the things that stand out is the sacked column there. You have Carroll that sacked Keely Watson 4 times for negative 33 yards compared to that of the Bobcats, where they only got one sack on Hewitt for negative 6 yards. You know, everything else has been pretty even. Total offensive yards for St. Thomas is 214 compared to Carroll's 169. The quarterback comparison, it's really been a passing game, not any real standout in the rushing, but Keely Watson has 189 yards in the air, 1 TD, 1 interception, compared to Caden Hewitt, where he has 123 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And, when it comes to the penalties, one thing that's been hurting the Bobcats is that they've had 3 penalties for a total of 41 yards. And Carroll's been playing a pretty clean game. 1 flag for 10 yards. So there's a 31-yard difference that's helped out the Fighting Saints in that first half.
All right, St. Thomas will receive to start the third quarter. Hewitt just 7 completions on 17 attempts, but 3 of those for touchdowns. So here we go to start the third quarter. Bobcats will have it. And this one will sail into the back of the end zone. Carroll College has done a great job keeping it out of the hands of the always dangerous Jalen Thomas. We talked about him at the top of the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to get an opportunity because you just don't know. He's such a dynamic player that you just don't know what's going to happen when the ball is in his hands.
Thomas, 17 kickoff returns for 469 yards.
That's amazing.
But nothing much today. First down. Oh, little play action. They try to zip it across the middle, intended for Hayes. But that ball had a little bit too much on it as they tried to run that quick slant pattern. They've done a lot of that today, that kind of play.
That's where they've been getting a lot of their chunk yardage has been off of those slant plays. And Hayes, I don't think, was really ready for that pass. His head wasn't turned quick enough, and he came up holding his hand and maybe jammed a finger on that play.
So incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10, just underway here in the third. Watson now looks across the middle, incomplete contact, and no flag on the play. Nice job by Nemesek. He got there right when the ball arrived, and no flag, so third down.
And you had Gleesman coming from his linebacker spot on the weak side, bringing the pressure, making Watson get that ball out of his hands probably a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
So 2 plays, 2 incompletions, and third down. Always enjoy seeing how teams come out to start the third quarter. What adjustments are they going to make? Denavian Ali is going to get the sack, but he's going to get whistled for being offsides. I think he jumped Tyson before the snap.
Yeah, you get to this point in the game where, as a defensive player, you're starting to kind of get the rhythm of the quarterback's cadence, and he.
Defense, number 4 was in the neutral zone at the snap. Fire penalty, replay, third down.
And so Ali was probably trying to time that snap with the cadence of the quarterback, got a little bit overly excited, saw a quick lane to the quarterback, and got off just a little bit too quick before the snap.
Brings up a third and a much more manageable 5 from the 30-yard line. Here's Watson. Straight drop, across the middle, and that ball sails and incomplete, intended for Justin Anderson, but well over his head. Braden Orlandi was back there in coverage, 4th down, and the Bobcats are forced to a 3 and out. And again, there's been so many momentum shifts, Tyson, in this game so far. You know, it started with the Saints, then St. Thomas grabbed the momentum back. Carroll got it back right before the half, and now a 3-and-out, and we'll see if they can't capitalize. They got that touchdown with 1 second to go in the second quarter and stand to get good field position. Connor Sullivan inside his 30-yard line and now makes a move but is brought down immediately. Good coverage that time. Jalen Housey in on the stop, and the Saints have the football from the 32 and a first down.
Yeah, that was good punt coverage. Everyone stayed in their lanes, got 5 to 10 yards from the ball carrier. They all collapsed down, and there was no room for the punt returner to go anywhere.
So out trots Houghton and the Saints offense on first down. Their first possession of the third quarter. And there's that quarterback keeper in Hewitt. Stays on his feet at the 45 and finally wrapped up and taken down by Favid Shannon, but not before Hewitt picks up another first down.
And all that was a play action, and Hewitt was actually looking at the DN. The DN collapsed down, so he pulled the ball and ran with it.
Akulchian receives a quick little hitter down to the 46-yard line in Bobcat territory. That was a nice gain of 8 on the play, or 7 rather, so 2nd and 3. Akulchian has had himself a game, limps off. Ty Wilkinson, the tight end, will check in on second down. Ball is at the 41-yard line. Saints already in Bobcat territory here in this opening drive of the third quarter. And here is the give to Minert, and Minert pulls a would-be tackler with him to the 41, and that's a first down for Carroll College.
And Hewitt, it was a great read. The DN came up the field, so he handed the ball off and was able to get the first down.
Well, he's reading the defense well because he's either pulling the ball back and getting really good chunk yards by keeping the football, but when he sees the opening, he hands it off, and Minert is there for the first down.
And again, it's just all on the read of that DN.
Yep.
What is the DN doing? Is he collapsing down, going straight up, and that's the read that Hewitt's looking for.
Hewitt now fires underneath and complete to Ochoa, who picks up 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Carson Ochoa continues to have a solid afternoon, comes in as the leading receiver, of course, on this team, 55 catches, 7 touchdowns coming in, already has 1 today, so 8 touchdowns for Ochoa.
Ochoa's a tough kid. We were here when we were doing the College of Idaho game,
yeah,
and he was getting blasted every play, and he healed up pretty well.
Second down, here comes the blitz. Hewitt rolls away from it, takes a pretty big shot intended for Lincoln Holmes, and Hewitt just with a good job to get rid of the football as Draylon Martin with that backside pursuit almost got him.
And Hewitt really had nowhere to throw the ball, just getting rid of it. He's rolling out, half roll, knew that it wasn't there, threw it out of bounds. That was a safe play.
Oh, Holmes comes up limping there, Lincoln Holmes on that. So incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 8, ball at the 41, or 39 rather. And Hewitt this time. Pressure coming again, and he'll be taken down at midfield for a big loss on the play. And that was big number 54, Vincent Burse. The tackle, the junior from Orlando, Florida, comes flying in and will force Carroll College to punt this one away.
That was a big stop by the Bobcats coming out of halftime. Carroll was setting the tone there a little bit, but for the Bobcats being able to get them to a 4th down and punt, that was a good series by the defense.
Clausen to punt. And this is a short kick. Fair catch signaled for and made at the 15-yard line by Martin. And the Bobcats have the football for the second time in the third quarter, trailing by 4 when we come back. Bobcats with the football on first down. Swing it to the flat to Lopez, who drops it and now falls on it. And alertly so, because that was close to being a backwards pass, which would have been a live ball and a fumble.
And it looks, waiting to see what the refs are going to do here. No, they called it a forward pass.
Yep, so incomplete pass. Ball stays at the 15, second down. So far in this third quarter, St. Thomas, 4 plays on offense and nothing to show for it. Now they're going to stay on the ground, and Lopez just lowers his head. But I'll tell you what, that gap closed quick. He looked, Tyson, like he had some running room, but closed down as Orlandi shoots in and makes the tackle and brings up third and long.
Yeah, the linebacker position, they came up really quick. Safety read it. That hole was there for a quick split second, and it closed really fast.
Eli Abe was also there with Orlandi. Picked up 3, third and 7. Ball's at the 18-yard line. And a chance for the Saints defense to get off the field with good field position if they can get a stop here. Watson looks, now fires across the middle, incomplete. And that's going to bring up fourth down. He was trying to get it to Justin Anderson. But
that was just a bad pass.
Yeah, it was. It was not a good pass. And so another 3 and out for the Wolves, their second of the third quarter.
We'll see if Holmes comes back out on the field. I was watching him on the sideline for the Saints, and he must have tweaked something in his right leg. He was stretching out. Parcell went over, had a little conversation, didn't like what he heard, and walked away shaking his head.
Low liner's going to drive Sullivan back inside the 35. That's where it's going to be downed, right at the, they're going to say the 37-yard line. So the Saints again with tremendous field position here in the third quarter and really putting a lot of pressure on that Bobcat defense. Tyson, they've had great field position pretty much for the entire game, and they're going to start with good field position here.
And we'll see if the Bobcat defense is making any adjustments, especially keeping a spy on Hewitt, because Hewitt had 30 yards rushing in the first half. So maybe you're tweaking your defense a little bit, keeping a spy on Hewitt so he doesn't run the ball.
So first down from the 37. We'll play action. They get it out here to Wilkinson with a nice stiff arm up over the 45 and then just drags tacklers with him. Hanging on for dear life was Noel, but Wilkinson with that speed and side takes it up over the 45-yard line and a first down for Carroll.
And he's little stiff arm to the the face mask, and as a defensive player, you absolutely hate that.
Oh, and now Hewitt on the quarterback keeper, wrapped up and thrown down at midfield. Good tackle there by Alexander Zito from his defensive end position. Short gain on the play. Going to give him 2, so 2nd and 8 from the 49-yard line.
Yeah, and that Noel on the other play there with the tackle. He's a freshman, and on this defense they have 4 freshmen that are starters. So this is a young defense playing today.
First down. This time the Saints will stay on the ground. No gain on the play, so this will set up 3rd and long, right from midfield. Carroll up 4, 21-17, a wild first half. Winner of this game advancing on to round 2 of the NAIA playoffs. St. Thomas making the long trip from Miami Gardens, Florida. Miami Gardens just down the suburbs of Miami, high of 79 today.
Oh.
Shorts and t-shirt weather. And a whole 7 feet above sea level. So here we go. On 3rd down, Hewitt's got time, now throws it out there. And I don't know if his arm was hit or what happened, but the ball just popped straight up in the air. Incomplete pass brings up 4th down. Players shaken up on the field. Daryl Dunbar, he's up and off the field. So a nice play again by this Bobcat defense will force the Saints to punt it away. So we're back into this defensive mode again for both teams. I mean, the offense from these two teams have been chuck plays and big plays, but not a lot of sustained drives outside of that very first one by Carroll. Here's Klaus. Pops this one straight up in the air. Ball hits inside the 20, takes a Carroll College bounce. Oh, how about this? Down to the 11-yard line. And that's where St. Thomas will have the football. 8:22 to play in the 3rd. Saints by 4 in Helena, 21-17. This Montana Sports Series presentation of Frontier Conference football is made possible in part by the Billings Clinic. Billings Clinic, trust and be trusted. Strive for excellence, serving Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. Field position, Tyson. And boy, have the Saints done a great job in 2 ways. 1, keeping the Bobcats deep in their own end, and 2, keeping the ball out of the hands of Jalen Thomas, who's had some kind of season. So first down, ball right at the 10. Watkins fires across the middle, and that is complete to David Hayes. And again, Bobcats going right back to that slant banner, which they have run well all day long. Gain is up to the 24, pick up a 14 and a first down.
And that's where they're getting a lot of their chunk plays and yardage, is just these quick slants.
First down. This time they'll stay on the ground, hit and taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Rocky Shields, who blows that play up.
Shields and Gross all caught Lopez in the backfield. Nowhere to run. They're doing a nice job in containing those running backs, but you are right. I'm surprised they're not getting the ball more into your speed burners at the wide receiver position.
2nd and 11. Now they throw that little screen over the middle, but that play is absolutely stoned and not much there. Gleesman with a great play defensively.
They were looking at throwing it to the outside. Everyone flowed that way and then came back to the center screen, and you had great protection there by the linebackers. Didn't bite on anything, so it didn't actually lost a yard.
Yeah, so 3rd down now and 11. Pass over the middle and almost picked off. That could have been disastrous for the Bobcats.
And that was Graham in coverage.
Yeah, Daxon Graham.
Yeah, they were in man coverage. He had a safety over the top. He stayed on his hip all the way across the field and then got his hand out right when the ball got there and knocked the ball down. Great play by Graham.
So the Bobcats will be forced to punt it away. Another quick series for the St. Thomas offense, and Connor Sullivan is going to let this one hit. Oh, he'll field it up over the 40-yard line to the 45 to the 50. Sullivan still on his feet and in St. Thomas territory. You know, we've talked a lot about Jalen Thomas and his ability to run punts back. Let's talk for a moment about Connor Sullivan, because this young man has been pretty good returning punts as well. He came into this game with 20 punt returns for 497 yards, or kickoffs rather, averaging nearly 25 yards per kickoff. And on punt returns, of course, we've already seen what he could do this afternoon, as he's had a couple of big ones. So Connor Sullivan, and he's played like that all season long, coming up with big plays on special teams. Sullivan, the redshirt junior from Glacier High School, and of course his team just won the state AA last night over West. Here's Minert with running room inside the 40. Minert to the 30. Wrapped up and taken down at the 30-yard line, but not before Minert breaks off a 16-yard run and a first down for Carroll College.
And that was just an inside zone play. Minert gets the ball, and then he just cuts it right back. Find the hole, one cut, look, and that's all you need.
And they get it out there quickly. And that was Sullivan on the catch. I'll tell you what, back to that last play that Minert broke off for a 16-yard one. What a great block by Gavin Vandenaker. Really sprung that play for the first down. So gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Hewitt pumps, now feels pressure, gets out of it somehow, and he's got all kinds of running room to the 20. Down to the 15-yard line and a first down for Carroll College. Caden Hewitt has used his legs for some big, big plays this afternoon.
Well, he rolled out to his right, and I believe his check was looking for Sullivan. Sullivan was covered. The whole defense flowed to the left, and he decided, no, I'm going the other way.
And here's Minert inside for the touchdown, Carroll College. Peter Minert from 15 yards out, and the Saints extend the lead here in the 3rd.
We had a couple of Bobcats that ran into one another, and now we have a Bobcat on the ground, looking like he's grabbing his left knee.
It was right at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage from the 15, and now he's going to be
number 99.
Yeah, that's Darius Johnson, the senior from Baltimore, Maryland. And there it is again as Minert just spins out of would-be tacklers, and he winds up in the end zone. You know, Minert, a big reason why this running game has consistently gotten better as the season's gone on. That is touchdown number 7 on the year for Minert. again, came in averaging 5 yards per carry, but he got 15 the hard way there.
Well, and then we got Darius Johnson there, number 99. Looks like he got rolled up on that left knee. Gingerly getting some help off to the sideline.
So 2 unanswered touchdowns for the Saints after trailing 17-14 late in the second. Have now extended the lead. And Klaus will come on for the extra point. Kick is on the way, and it is up and through. So with 4:58 to play in the third, Saints extend the lead here in Helena, 28-17 over St. Thomas. And you're watching college football, the NAIA playoffs on SWX. (28-17) our score here, and congratulations to the Lady Argos of Providence College, your 2025 Frontier Conference Volleyball Championships. Had one heck of a tournament hosted right here on the campus of Carroll College last week. SWX was there for it all. So the Lady Argos advancing to the tournament after their championship win in the Frontier Conference. A lot of volleyball being played here at Carroll last week. So here we go. Bobcats to get the football, and this one again is not returned. And you can't not talk about the ability of the Carroll special teams, their kickers in particular, keeping the ball away from Jalen Thomas. He just hasn't had a chance to do much with it. So the Bobcats now trailing 28-17. They have gone cold here in the third quarter. Coach Purcell has dialed up a great defensive game plan. Coach Purcell in his 7th season, 45-21 overall. He's done a terrific job for the Saints. Prior to that, was the head coach at Bozeman High School. They won 3 straight titles there. Won a state title with Havre, Class A in 2004. And here is Lopez, and Lopez is going to be ridden down by Julio.
After a gain of about 3, we make it 2nd down and 8 for the Bobcats.
And an update from Missoula today, the Brawl of the Wild. Montana State gets the win as they take down the Grizz 31-28. The final score in Missoula for the Cats. Watson now looks underneath, and that ball is caught by Hayes. And boy, I tell you, offensively, the tight ends and those short little passes over the middle have been the extent of the St. Thomas offense. And really, and you mentioned it, Tyson, they've got so much speed on the outside, but they haven't been able to use it.
They're not able to get the ball to the outside, But through their game plan, they know, and I've recognized this throughout the game today, that Carroll is not shy on bringing one or two linebackers every play that's opening up the middle.
And again, Watson throws underneath to Lopez. Lopez is taken down. That's a first down gain up to the 40-yard line. Gunnar Gleesman with the open field tackle, but not before the Bobcats move the sticks and a first down. Still plenty of time in this game, 3:30 and counting here in the third. St. Thomas trails 28-17.
Yeah, there's definitely no pressure here.
No, Watson now looks and fires, and just a mistimed play intended for Harrington. Harrington was going inside. The ball went outside, and second down.
Well, and then you had two defenders. You had your corner playing on the outside. Your safety rotated over, so they were squeezing the receiver down, and so there really wasn't a place to put the ball.
Good job by that Saints secondary. 2nd and 10. Watson again across the middle. Boy, they've just gone to that play over and over again. Caught by Anderson, brought down by Orlandi, and that is a first down gain to the 45 as they move into Saints territory.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're just going to keep attacking between the two hashes.
Lopez trying to get to the corner, and he does for a moment, and then Orlandi, closing like a freight train, takes him down at the 40, gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Norsline also in on the tackle.
Take a look. All it is a stretch play getting to the outside, and Lopez is no easy guy to be taken down. Take one or two defensive players to get him down on the ground.
Lopez, 550 yards rushing coming into this one, and he's been a workhorse. Gets it again. Falls forward to the 36-yard line. They're going to mark him just short of the first down, so this will be 3rd and short. Clock winding down to 2 minutes here in the third quarter. 28-17, winner advances to the second round. Carroll College, one of 3 Frontier Conference teams in the postseason. They, along with Montana Tech and the College of Idaho, in the field. And that is a first down carry. I believe the first carry of the afternoon for Draylon Martin, but he gets the first down.
Well, Lopez went out and he was stretching his back, whether he got hit on the back or tweaked something in the back. So then Martin came in, and they're actually a good duo, 1-2 punch. Martin's more of in between your tackles. Lopez is kind of everywhere.
Spot of the ball is the 34, first down. Watson pumps, now looks, now fires. This one intended for Henderson, incomplete, and he was open, Anderson rather, as he was running the post route and ball just overthrown.
Yeah, and Keely Watson had a lot of time in the pocket to be able to place that ball where he needed. But in the route itself, it was more of a skinny route than it was more of a true post route. So he should have cut that route down a little bit more. It could have been more, be a complete play.
Just out of the reach. Second down from the 34. Watson again using the middle of the field. Julio wraps him up after the catch. David Hayes. I'll tell you, David Hayes and Justin Anderson, those two guys, long, lanky receivers, they have been busy this afternoon, and they have been targeted a bunch.
Yeah, and it's been the slant routes towards the center of the field, and there Hayes was the wide receiver towards the sideline, and he stemmed up at 8 yards and then ran a box route or in route, if you call it, and he came right across, again, right in the middle of the field. It was wide open.
Just inside the 25, first down. And they will stay on the ground, and Martin not much there. Gets met at the line of scrimmage. That defensive line for Carroll College has been stout. Eli Abe at the bottom of that pile. He makes the tackle, but he's going to come off the field.
Marcus Evans, and he was holding his left arm, so possible defensively a stinger.
Oh, and they run a little end around to Thomas, and Thomas, boy, they read that one perfectly. And that is stopped for a very short gain. Nice job by that Saints defense to read it. And that brings us to the end of 3 here in Helena. Carroll College on top, 28-17. St. Thomas is driving when we come back to start the 4th. Back at Nelson Stadium for the start of the 4th quarter, the tones of Sweet Caroline being generated throughout the stadium. A good vibe, a good feeling by all. Everyone's having fun today. First round of the NAIA playoffs on a sun-drenched late fall afternoon here in Helena.
Well, we got NAIA playoffs going on. We had high school championships going on. It was a great weekend.
It sure was. Brawl of the Wild, volleyball championships. Here we go now. Watson going to look hard into his right. He's got a man at the 10-yard line, and Thomas with a nice catch. And they're going to mark him out right at around the 10, so this is going to set up it's going to be just outside the 10, so they can pick up another first down. They'll mark it at the 11.
It's been a while since we've seen him be targeted in this game, and that was just a simple out route, 10 yards out route. It was a good pass by Watson, putting it on target and being able to get the first down.
Huge drive here for the Bobcats. If they want to get back into this one, they need to come away with points. Short gain by Martin on the play. And Martin taken down at the 9. So gain at 2, 2nd and 8. Just underway 4th quarter. St. Thomas very much in this game. They have answered the bell every time. And a chance here to cut it to a one-possession game.
And they're keeping Martin in the backfield, and most of the time they've been flipping Martin and Lopez back and forth, but we haven't seen Lopez come in, something with his back. So we'll see if he's going to be feeling any better.
Here's Watson. Watson looks across the middle, incomplete. Great job by Orlandi to knock it away. That was right at the goal line.
And that was Justin Anderson from the tight end position.
Again,
yeah. And Anderson was complaining a little bit that he was being held, but all offensive players do that.
Well, sure.
You know, all secondary guys, we never touched them.
Who, me?
Yeah, nah.
So 3rd down and 8. And they've got some options here. If they don't score the touchdown or pick up the first down, a field goal would bring them to within one possession. So we'll see. Now a timeout is taken as the Bobcats want to talk it over, and I think that's wise. It's such a key part of the game right now, 3rd and 8 coming up. But if you don't pick up the first down or score, if you kick a field goal, it's a one-possession game at 28-20, or you may feel like you're on the road, you've made the long trip, you're in the playoffs, it's 4-down territory.
And most of the thinking by coaches is, hey, you're right, we're in the playoffs, we're on the road, let's win the game, go home, right? Well, here, Keely Watson, when that timeout was called, he was not happy with the coach. He was saying something to him, but maybe the play was going to work. But here's the situation. It's 3rd and long, all right, 3rd and 9. You may want to see as a coach after this play what's going to happen. As a coach, if I was getting any closer to the goal line within 3 yards, I may go for it. But if they don't get anything out of here, you may be just safe going with the field goal just to cut it down to that one-score game. But anymore, we go to analytics. You know, we're always talking about analytics. For me, I'm not a big fan of that. I always go by the tempo and the mood of your team.
So here we go on 3rd and 8. They bring Thomas across. And now Watson looks left, throws inside, and almost intercepted and then caught for the touchdown. Are you kidding me? David Hayes took a batted ball and a perfectly defense play by Nemesek. The ball popped out and right into Hayes' hands for the touchdown.
And Nemesek was in great position to pick the ball. He couldn't squeeze it. The ball bounced up in the air. Right here, if we look at the replay, bounce, juggle, and falls into Hayes' hands for the touchdown. Hey, great concentration by the wide receiver.
Well, that's a terrific play. So that makes it a 5-point game, and they're going to go for 2 here to try to get within a field goal. So a big 2-point conversion coming up. Watson looks for Thomas, and he's got him. Thomas made a great route run as he broke for the corner. Now flag is down.
And this is what I call a pig route. And what he does is he goes in like he's going to do an out route, and then he spins back out and comes back in towards the center of the field, which with the flag, it could be offensive pass.
Well, yeah, so goes against the defense, so the 2-point conversion is good. But yeah, Thomas, here it is again.
So he fakes like he's going in, and then going out, then he comes right back in.
13:42 to play in the 4th. St. Thomas. Head coach Troy Purcell and the Saints clinging to a 28-25 lead. on a wild sequence from the 8-yard line. And the head coach of St. Thomas, Bill Reichel, in his 7th season, he was the coach that was tabbed when they began football back in the 2019 season. And boy, what he's done in 6 short years, a 51-21 overall record, back-to-back playoff appearances last year and in 2023. 4 conference titles. And here's a little pooch kick that lands, and that is recovered by St. Thomas. Are you kidding me? Wow. And now a flag comes in, clear back at the 30-yard line. And let's see what this...
In the area where that flag was thrown, I'm going to imagine it was offsides on the kicking team.
Boy, that would have been a huge play for the Bobcats as they recovered the football, but as it stands, offsides, and they'll be forced to kick it again. But Tyson, they kicked it right in that dead zone, and then they just had probably the fastest guy on the team flying down the sideline and recovered it. It would have given St. Thomas the ball at the Carroll 35-yard line, but it all goes for naught. They'll kick it again.
Well, that's definitely going to be a wake-up call for your kickoff return team to make sure that the ball is kicked. And the coaches are yelling at the players, watch the ball, make sure it's kicked. If it's a pooch kick or a squib kick, just get on the ball and sit down.
We talked at the top of the broadcast that 3 years ago, St. Thomas finished the season ranked 15th in the country, and they were not selected to play in the NAIA playoffs. So they contacted Carroll College and says, hey, we want to play you in the regular season so that they could gain some respect. Came up here and lost by 3, 26-23. But boy, did they open some eyes, and then went to the postseason in each of the last 2 years. So they'll kick it again. And again, this one goes on the ground. Sullivan picks it up at the 20 and taken down at the 27-yard line by Gooden, the linebacker. And so the Saints kind of dodge a couple of bullets there.
And I'm thinking back to when the Bobcats punted to Sullivan, and he had that huge return.
Yeah.
And so with the special teams coordinators going, you know what, we're not going to kick it to him anymore.
Yeah.
And so we're going with a pooch kick or a squib kick to keep it out of Sullivan's hands.
Had a 65-yard kickoff return with under a minute to play in the second quarter. That set up a touchdown on a Hail Mary that ended the first half. So first down from the 30. And here's Minert at the 40. Minert up to midfield, still on his feet inside the 45, and falls forward to the 41-yard line, and a first down for Carroll College. Boy, what a strong run by Peter Minert.
And the one that broke that play open was number 70, Andrew Devine. He's your left tackle. He pulled all the way around to become the lead blocker and took the linebacker out that set up the run.
And here's Hewitt. And this time they faked it to Minert, and Hewitt gets to the outside and runs it down to the 34-yard line. That's a gain of 8, 2nd and 2. So bang, bang, 2 big plays for the Saints offense.
And I'm wondering at the elevation, and that is kind of affecting this Bobcat team now.
Very well could. Here's Minert. Oh, boy, is he wrapped up and bulldogged down. Excellent job defensively that time. Take a look at it again, and Minert just didn't have anywhere to go. Clifton Stone, the big fella.
Yeah. He's like, I want my name called.
Oh,
here I am.
man,
I'm doing all the work. He's taking on a block, double blocks, and
he looks over at the sideline. You see that, Coach? Get the thumbs up. So no gain, 3rd and 2. Hewitt, quarterback keeper all the way, and he's going to be short. He's going to lose a half a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down. So now what do? You're leading by 3.
and your defense is playing well, this may be an area in which you're going to go for it.
Martin in on the stop, number 24. Nice play there. Sophomore from Homestead, Florida. Yeah, you're not in field goal range.
Right.
35-yard line, so this is four down territory, and this is huge for both of these teams. Bobcats need a stop. Saints would love to continue the drive. 11:25 to play here in the fourth. Ochoa comes across. Hewitt looks that way. He's covered, and now they just flip it out there and out of bounds, and that was tremendous defensive play there by Laguerre, the linebacker, who was all over Ochoa, and they had absolutely no chance to get him. And it's worth noting that Achulkin has not played in the second half. He hobbled out of the game and has been trying to put some weight on that ankle. And Achulkin's such a big part of the Saints' offense, has been out of this game. So St. Thomas will take over with all the momentum going their way.
This feels like a game that whatever team has the ball last is going to win the game.
Well, we'll see if the St. Thomas Bobcats can continue this offensive momentum and they stay on the ground, and Lopez
is back in the game.
Yeah, tries the right side, picks up a couple. We'll give him 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Player down for Saints. That is Forrest Suero. Suero at the bottom of that pile, so he's up. He's okay. Gain of 2. Under 11 to play now in the fourth. Saints showing pressure. And there it is, that slant pattern again, and off and coming the other way. Braden Orlandi at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, stretching for the end zone. And he is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Wow, what a play by Braden Orlandi, who steps in front of that and gets the interception.
So we get the pass, and it was right in the breadbasket of the receiver. He starts bobbling it, and right in the hands of Orlandi. And I tell you what, that takes a lot of pressure off that offense, and that is why Orlandi is the safety defensive player in the Frontier Conference. Good heads up, good position, and for most of us, when it pops into our hands like that, hey, that's a gift. And he took it all the way down to the 1-yard line. I bet he's kicking himself. Everything worked well up until he wanted that touchdown. He wanted those 6 points, but the refs marked him out at the 1-yard line. Here he again. Oh, and he gives a little high step.
And Watson, the quarterback, knocked him out of bounds. Xavier Ford now rolls into the end zone for the touchdown. And that extends the Carroll College lead. So Xavier Ford caps it off from a yard out, and they capitalize on the turnover. And there it is. Ford goes in for the touchdown, and that ups the lead to 34-25. With 10.5 to play. But Tyson, it's been that kind of game. You saw the touchdown on the other end where Nemesek had it. And the ball popped up and into the waiting arms for a touchdown. And now exact same play, only this time it's the Saints that capitalize on the Orlandi interception. Extra point is up and good. So 10:32 to play in the fourth. The Fighting Saints extend the lead over the Bobcats from St. Thomas. 35-25. You're watching NAIA playoff football on SWX. Xavier Ford on the 1-yard touchdown run for Carroll College to up the lead to 35-25 with 10:32 to play here in the fourth quarter. It would be such an understatement to say that this game has been made via big, dramatic plays, and honestly, almost every touchdown has had some sort of drama involved. Let's look at it one more time,
Here's
Tyson.
the play we get. Right, it was right there. It was a catchable ball. He just wasn't able to bring it in, and then Orlandi was able to pick it out of the air, and I bet he was wanting that touchdown really bad.
Did you see the style points on the high step?
Oh, yeah, the high step.
Only a defensive MVP can do that.
Well, just try to get ESPN top 10 plays.
This is going to be returned by Thomas, who's up over the 25 to the 30, and now taken out of bounds. But again, Jalen Thomas, just give him anything, and he can break off a big return, and he does. So Thomas, there's a flag on the play. Let's sort it all out. This would negate what would have been a really nice return. The Saints are signaling it's against the Bobcats.
And that was the and that was the first big return that we got from Thomas today.
Yeah, it was. They've done such a nice job either kicking away from him or not allowing him. And great contain on special teams play. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, one of the keys to the game for St. Thomas was the play of their special teams, a big reason for their success. So that will back them up to the 13-yard line and a first down. 10:24 to play here in the game. Saints show a little pressure. Now they'll back off. And this time, just misconnection there. They were going on the slant route again to Anderson, and Watson threw it outside.
And you had AB on the pressure on Watson, and when Watson threw the ball, you saw his hand hit AB in the helmet, so he kind of came up looking at his hand a little bit. But a little bit of mistiming going on between Watson and his wide receivers.
AB, the senior out of Laurel, transferred from Montana State. Boy, has he been good for this Saints defense. Second down. Watson's got time. Fires across the middle. And Nemesek steps in there with the left hand and knocks it away. And this time, no, it did not go into the arms of Hayes.
No, it did not. And that was great coverage by Nemesek. He played on his right on his outside hip. And on the in route, when the ball was up in the air, he came underneath and knocked it down.
Redshirt freshman out of Salem, Oregon. Boy, he's done a great job jumping those routes, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a couple of them today.
Yeah. 3rd and 10. Ball's at the 12. Huge play here for the Bobcats if they want to stay in it. Watson, got to get rid of it. Does, and again, intended for Thomas, but just an errant throw. It went behind him, so somehow some miscommunication between the receivers and the quarterback. And again, that ball just thrown behind.
They're all on a different page right now, and maybe a little in shock mode here. They don't know what's going on. None of their plays are working. Everyone's on a different page. So it's really up to that offensive coordinator to bring that team together on the sideline and tell them to settle down and let's get back into what we do best.
Aller with a short kick. Sullivan calls for and makes the fair catch at the 49-yard line. So Carroll will start in plus territory from the 49, then a first down in a short field. And this point of the game, Tyson, is where championship games can really assert themselves and really put the foot down and seal this win. So if you're Carroll College, you want to mount a 49-yard drive, you want to take time off the clock, you want to assert yourself on that offensive line. And I think St. Thomas, the other thing is that they're getting a little gassed. You know, we're up here around 5,000 feet in Helena. They play football at sea level, and I don't care who you are, when you get into high altitude, you start sucking for air at some point.
You start feeling the effects of it.
And Minert breaking tackles. Minert to the 35 to the 30. And finally taken out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and a first down for Carroll College.
And I was watching the defensive line for the Bobcats on that play, and they're just not getting off the ball like they were in the first quarter. They're getting off slow. They're not getting any penetration at all, and they're not getting off their blocks. So if we see the replay, it's leaving huge lane open for Minert to break away and get into the open field.
Moore finally rides him out of bounds, but the gain is all the way to the 24. And a fresh set of downs. 9:30 to play, clock rolling here in the fourth quarter. Saints looking to advance in the NAIA playoffs. Hewitt gets pressure and gets nailed on the blind side, crashing in from the corner. Keon Martin, who makes a great play off the edge and takes Hewitt down for a big loss all the way to the 34, and more important, Tyson, for now, takes them out of field goal range.
And that's the big thing right now, because you can't allow Carroll to score here, because then that takes the wind out of your defense, out of your team. So getting that sack by Martin, coming, and that was a cornerback blitz. He came way off from the numbers, got behind Hewitt, got him for the sack.
2nd and 20. Hewitt this time has protection. Now fires out there. Good job defensively by Martin, who comes right back and makes a great play on Gavin Vandenaker as he knocks it away.
Vandenaker did a hitch and then a hitch out, and Martin didn't bite on the hitch, stayed on his hip pocket, and good timing, so when the ball got there, he was able to reach in to knock it down.
So a 1st and 10 from the 24 has turned out to be a 3rd and 20 from the 34. So the Bobcat defense so far has come up huge here. Let's see what the Saints come with on 3rd and long. He rolls right. Hewitt looking, now throws underneath. And again, just good coverage back there. Richard Farmer from his corner position tried to get it out there to Sullivan. Incomplete, brings up 4th down, and now decision time for Coach Purcell. Now you could pooch kick it, maybe play field position.
Well, right now, the way that your defense has been playing, you got the momentum on your side. You might as well go for it, because then if you don't get anything, Bobcats will take the ball over at the 35, so this isn't a bad play call.
All right, here we go, 4th down.
Looks like the Bobcats may bring a blitz.
I wonder if this is going to be a pooch kick right here.
Yeah, he backed up.
Yep. Oh, and a nice kick by Hewitt.
Wow.
Beautiful kick. Great coverage. And the ball will roll dead at the 14-yard line.
Maybe he was recruited as a punter, and then they changed him to a quarterback. Maybe in his other life he was a punter.
These quarterbacks can do it all. You can kick it, sure, why not? Play some DB?
Yeah, why not?
If you need me.
Yeah.
Hewitt has had himself a game, and boy, what an all-around effort from him. I think his running the football, the play action, keeping the ball has really kept the Bobcat defense off guard all day long. And now let's see if the Saints defense comes back and with their ears pinned here, trying to get a little bit of field position. So they give it to Lopez, and Lopez with a nice gain out to the 18-yard line. So a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Problem is, running the football now, you're coming down to the 8-minute mark. You have 2 timeouts remaining. So you've got time, but you've got to start thinking about moving the ball quickly.
Yeah, the time is actually going against the Bobcats right now, especially being 2 scores down, that you're going to need to move the ball down the field a little bit quicker.
And Watson again to Hayes on the slant, up to the 30-yard line and a first down. Well, that play has been there the entire game. David Hayes, big 6'4" target out of Tampa, Florida, King High School.
That will stop the clock for the move of the chains. And then once they set the ball, they'll start the clock, so that helps the Bobcats out a little bit.
Hayes, their leading receiver, 48 catches coming in, and he was here 2 years ago, Tyson.
Yes, he's one of those
sophomores. This is going to be picked off. Picked off and taken down the other way, and right there to get it is Eli Abe. And Abe, the ball, as he was hit, the ball went straight up in the air.
And it was number 4, your D lineman,
Denavian
Ali, that got in there and hit. As you can see here, hits his arm, Watson's arm, as he was throwing it, and the ball just popped up in the air, and then it gives AB the chance to get underneath it for the interception.
So AB with the interception. Boy, these turnovers have been killer today for St. Thomas, and again, another short field for the Saints. Eli AB, the pride of the Laurel Locomotives, the trainman. Here's Hewitt. A nicely designed play to Wilkinson. Inside the 25. That's going to be a gain of 8, 2nd and 2. But a nice job there as Hewitt just rolls out, waits, and then finds Wilkinson, the tight end, for an 8-yard gain.
And the big thing for Carroll right now is just keep the clock rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep it rolling. You're not in any hurry. Run that play clock down, and that's what they're doing right now. They're kind of stalling the game, using the play clock. He's going to get the play called in. They're going to get up to the line. He's going to wait till about the 6-7 mark to snap the ball.
Play clock under 5. So they've done a nice job there. Minert. Oh, the ball is on the ground, and Hewitt will pick it up. But, boy, that could have been disastrous. But Hewitt alertly falls on it. Clifton Sloan was there. Watch it again right here. Just bad exchange there.
And he got a lucky bounce where it went right back up into his stomach there, and he was able to hold on the ball and just fall on it. We got a player down for Carroll. Looks like an offensive lineman.
So let's see Ryan Fair, redshirt freshman, O-line. You know, the O-line guys never get enough credit, do they? You know, you say their name when they're penalized, right?
Right.
And but you don't hear otherwise. But this Saints offensive line has done a terrific job. So Fair will come limping off, and Ty Henson is going to be the new center. So Fair will come off, Henson comes in.
And Fair only has to come out for one play, and he's walking pretty well.
Yeah, he is.
He looks like he's okay. He's giving his team a thumbs up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in next play.
He's looking at Ty Henson saying, don't get comfortable out there.
Yep.
I'll be right back. So the poor exchange, brings up 3rd and 6. Carroll had two unbelievable opportunities here in the fourth quarter to put this thing away deep in St. Thomas End, but so far have not been able to capitalize. Let's see if the Bobcats can mount a stop here on 3rd and 6. They have been tough all day.
They're going to reset the time clock.
Okay, so they reset the clock to 6:24. Well, now they're bringing it down to 6:13. Get that sorted out. 3rd and 6.
This will be a huge stop for this Bobcat defense.
Boy, it sure is. And they're going to stand the ground. And Minert's got a first down and more. Minert to the 15. What a tough run, as Minert needed 3 and picked up 9 on the play.
That was a good, hard run by Minert. We watched the replay. He's following his lead blockers. He actually shakes 1, 2, and he got 5 guys on him, but was still able to get extra yards after the contact, get the first down plus some.
Yeah, and you can see, Tyson, the hands on the hips now of the Bobcat defense. I mean, let alone the altitude. They'd be tired anyway. They've been on the field for
a lot this second
pretty
half.
much the entire fourth quarter. And Ford, or rather that Hewitt on the keeper, not much there. He'll pick up 1, maybe 2 on the play. 2nd down, more important. Clock continues to run. as we are winding down inside the 5-minute mark to play here at Nelson Stadium. With a win, Carroll College will advance to the second round of the playoffs and will await who they will face. College of Idaho, Montana Tech both had byes in the opening round and will swing into action next week, and the Saints would love to join them. Jeske in the backfield. Hewitt cuts up inside and takes it down to the 11-yard line, so a gain of 4.
And the Bobcats brought both their inside linebackers on the play, which left Hewitt going to the outside and then cutting it back to the inside where they vacated from.
And Carroll's just playing big boy football right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're running the ball. Hey, if you can stop us, great. We don't think you can. And they're just handing the ball off, using clock. They've got third down coming up. They need 4. They need to get to the 7. So 3rd and 4. And again, lining up in that I formation. And again, Hewitt fakes, throws into the end zone, and it is a touchdown. What a play to Wilkinson in the back of the end zone, who was covered big time, but he still manages a way to haul it in for the score.
And that was a perfectly thrown pass by Hewitt to Wilkinson in the end zone, and really there was not much that defensive back can do.
No, you couldn't play any better coverage.
No.
And Wilkinson just wanted it more as he grabs it in the back of the end zone. Tack on 6 more for the Saints and make it 7. 3:50 to play in the 4th, and Carroll has opened up a 41-25 lead.
Here it is, and Hewitt stumbled a little bit and threw the ball low into the inside to where the defensive back could not do anything about that. And that was Shannon on the coverage.
Don't take anything away from him. I mean, that was good coverage, and Wilkinson just managed to bring it in, and that extends the lead to 42-25 now with 3:50 to play, and that could do it for the Bobcats of St. Thomas. And boy, they have played hard today. Got behind early, went up 17-14. That lead lasted all of a few seconds.
Right.
As Carroll scored with 1 tick remaining in the second half on the Hail Mary pass. That was tremendous. And now St. Thomas to get the ball back. Good effort here by Carroll in this 4th quarter. Really.
That touchdown kind of took the air out of the sails for St. Thomas.
Well, they're just imposing their will physically on this team right now. And this is going to be returned. And Thomas is going to be, wrapped up and taken down. Boy, great contain there, huh?
Yeah, there was Carroll stayed in their lanes as they got down the field on the kickoff and then collapsed down on the ball, didn't allow the carrier to get to the outside, closed the middle down quickly, had nowhere to go, so that was good coverage on that kickoff team. Good kick, too, because it didn't go in the end zone. It kept the clock rolling for a couple seconds also, which is huge.
You got to believe now for desperation time for St. Thomas, and you're going to have to go vertical and deep now and get some chunk plays, those little, 5, 6, 7 yard slant patterns.
Yep.
Not going to do it. So Watson now inside the 10-yard line. And look, Orlandi's pointing.
Here it's going to be a delay of game.
Yeah, play clock expired. So that'll back them up even further. And they'll mark the ball at the 8-yard line. Here's Watson, now rolls right, and again throws underneath. Good job defensively there. Boy, looked like Anderson had a little bit of room to run, but Just brought down
on
needed,
on the coverage.
Alex Hausman, he's a redshirt freshman from Glacier. Grady's got to be proud of these kids from Glacier today.
Oh, yeah.
Having an impact. Second down. Watson throws it out here for Thomas, who makes a sensational catch at the 25-yard line, and that's good for a first down.
And that was a corner route by Thomas, and he had to go up for the ball. Got 1 foot in, but then he got out of bounds, so it kills the clock.
Now the reset, and the clock's moving from the 25. Fresh set of downs, under 3 to play. Watson throws to inside. That's going to be caught up over the 40-yard line and a first down. That's Harrington on the catch. And that'll move the chains. Carroll looks to join the College of Idaho and Montana Tech next week in the postseason for the Frontier Conference. And now whistle. False start against. So false start will back it up 5, first and 15. Now the Frontier is such a good conference, and they finished the season, Tyson, with 5 teams ranked in the top 25, led by Montana Tech, College of Idaho, Carroll. Montana Western finished at 17. Dakota State finished at number 24. And at one point, of the 14 teams in the Frontier Conference, 7 of them were ranked in the top 25.
Says a lot about the Frontier.
Oh, it sure does. Incomplete pass. Did they say got it?
Yep.
Looks, Nemesek again jumped the route, got right in front of it. And somehow Hayes was able to bring it in.
Nemesek just timing of it all. Came in just a little too late. Ball snuck in. Hayes got the ball.
Takes us to the 2-minute timeout here at Nelson Stadium in Helena. 42-25. Saints 2 minutes away from advancing into the second round. Back for the final 2 minutes of this one here in Helena, 42-25. The Saints closing in on a victory. And Tyson, I got to tell you, this was a fun football game to do. St. Thomas, they played as hard as they could possibly play today. It looks like they may come up just a little bit short.
Yeah, I give my hat off to the Bobcats because they played awfully well, not just here, but during the regular season to get to this point.
Yeah.
And so, are they going to feel bad? I've been in that position, but you can always reflect back on your season and said, you know what, we were successful, and take this motivation into next year.
Well, and what's the hardest part, of course, is if you're a senior, and you know this is going to be your last game as a college football player, and boy, does that make it hard.
It does make it really hard. I remember playing against University of Mary, and we lost by 3 points, And remember sitting on the bench and just balling up just because you know how hard you played throughout the year. And you, again, as a senior, you had an opportunity of your lifetime. Not a lot of kids get this opportunity to play in the NAIA playoffs.
Catch was made by Harrington. First down from the 25. No quit in St. Thomas. They're going to keep on throwing and keep on chucking. Pressure by Suero. Is that a catch? Man, if it is. Yeah, they're going to give him the catch inside the 20-yard line. Harrington. What a catch. Tiptoes the sidelines. Here it is again.
Here we get the replay. Watson looking around, finds his receiver, gets a 1 foot in. That's all you need.
So second down for Watson. Watson fires out. They go right back to him again. That time it's incomplete.
Hey, it wasn't able to hold on to the ball.
3rd and 4. 1:24 to play here in the fourth. Coach Reichel has done a tremendous job with this program in 7 short years. Back-to-back trips to the NAIA playoffs last year and again in 2023 and this year. With 3 straight years in the postseason. Out of the Sun Conference. 3rd and 4. Watkins feels pressure, comes out of it. Suero chases, and this ball is caught inside the 1-yard line, and what a tremendous catch by David Hayes. And Hayes was bracketed by 2 defenders and still managed to come away with it. Here it is again.
And this throw is what we call a back shoulder throw. Gets it to his backside, spins around, catches it. Good pass, good catch.
And a touchdown. So Isaiah Lopez takes it from a yard out, and that tightens this game up. 1:11 to play, and trailing by 11. A lot of points in this game, and they're going to kick the extra point and then, of course, try that onside kick. Zach Alvarez will come on for the extra point.
There we go, missing a player.
Yep. Man, the Bobcats, I tell you, they just will not go away in this game. Alvarez's kick is up and through, so they cut it to 10 with 1:11. For the Saints, just need to fall on the ball, take a knee, and advance on to the playoffs. St. Thomas does have 2 timeouts remaining. Coach Purcell going to get win number 9 on the season. There's the touchdown run by Lopez. He's been a busy dude today, hasn't he?
Yeah, and we thought that he was injured, but was able to come back in, finish out the game. But yeah, he's done a lot, rushing the ball, receiving the ball, put a lot of weight on his shoulders today.
Well, you can't underestimate, you can't overlook the road trip that this team had to make to get here. It's a long, long trip, and you're playing in a place where visiting teams seldom get a win. But they have accounted themselves very well this afternoon. 42-32.
And it was interesting what Sampson said at halftime, that even after Carroll wins today, you don't know who you're going to play.
That's right.
So how can you prep, for that game until tomorrow,
right,
when it all comes out? And then coaches are working overtime, breaking down film, putting a game plan together. So that puts a lot of pressure on the coaches after today.
And, as much as you'd like to just do it, solely by seeding purposes, geography and cost comes into play.
Yeah.
And
well, if it was a seeding process, and you knew, okay, this is a game, we know who we possibly could play, they could have been breaking down film already.
Well, yeah, because you do that. Now, here we go. And this one does go the 10 yards. Vandenaker falls on it. Nice job. So Vandenaker alertly falls on it. Pretty good job getting that football popped up in the air and past the initial line.
It was a great onside kick, and that's something that you work on all the time. Carroll had their hands team out there, is what we call. They're mainly you're going to be your wide receivers, guys that can handle the ball, because you want to make sure that you secure it once it gets past that 10-yard line.
And they will stay on the ground right at midfield.
And Bobcats are probably going to be using both their timeouts here.
They've got player down. Oh, boy. And this is not good. Is that Minert?
Yeah, it is, number 44.
Oh, boy. Peter Minert. He came back from an early season injury and was really running the ball well. And, gosh, you would hate to see that on the final minute of play in a game you've already won. So, boy, this is not good.
No, you don't like it. Looks like he's grabbing his right shoulder, and that could be an indicator of many things. A collarbone, dislocation of a shoulder.
Well, they're going to get him up to his feet. But, just the circumstances of that injury is, depending on how bad it is, potentially devastating, because you lose a player when the game has already been decided. Hopefully he's up and walking off on his own power. Hopefully he is okay.
I'm hoping it's just a stinger. Compression of the nerve. Get a little bit of a stinger there, and it initially hurts. It does. Don't get me wrong. But it will wear off, and this is probably the point in the game where Coach Parcells going to be looking at him saying, you're done for the minute 6.
Second down. Here's Ford. Bounces to the outside and ridden out of bounds at the 45. Xavier Ford, another guy that was out early in the season, has come back. We have reached the 1 minute mark. Xavier just bouncing out there, getting good yardage. Third down.
And it looked like Zach Marino, the real
Marino's
linebacker. He's
had a game.
Yeah, he got a little bump there. He had to come out of the game. Trainer's over there looking at him, seeing what's going on. He's holding his right leg.
Hewitt keeps it and just punches it up in there to the 4th. We were talking about the playoffs moving forward. If unlike Division I football, where it's easy, you're seeded, right? And then you know who you're playing based on your seed. St. Thomas using one of their last 2 timeouts. So, but not the case here. There's a lot of factors that go in to who is hosting playoff games, and it's not just record, and it's not just geography plays a role. The facility plays a role, attendance plays a role, and so all those things are taken into account when they decide who's hosting. What we do know is that Montana Tech will be home next week.
Automatically, yeah.
Don't know who
in
they're going to
top 8.
Yeah, don't know who they're going to play. But hopefully for Montana Tech, at least their hope would be to play there not only next week, but stay at home should they win whomever they play.
And NAIA has these requirements, like you've mentioned. You're taking a look at gate money, you're taking a look at facilities, you're looking at hotels that's around. Can you adequately supply the needs for people coming in? Long time ago, it was by bid. What school can outbid the other to be able to host the game? Not so much anymore. But it is a process.
Of course, the one question that pops into everyone's mind, having said all of that, oh boy, Klaus is going to get taken down at the 45-yard line. So this game is not over just yet. 49 seconds to go. St. Thomas in Saints territory. Boy, if you're the Saints, you're thinking, quick touchdown,
right?
Boom, boom, onside kick again. I mean, yeah, this is not over. But yeah, you take into all the consideration, the geography, seedings, and all that, and based on where Carroll is and where Tech is, might we see a matchup down I-15, just a short drive from here?
Possibly could.
How
exciting would that be?
Yeah. But first things first, as Carroll needs to put this one in the win column and put a bow on it. Incomplete pass. That was intended for Hayes, just dropped it. No timeouts remaining, so anything, any kind of a cross or something across the middle, the clock's going to continue to run. 43 seconds to go.
And for the offense, if you're going to throw the ball, you want to throw it towards the sideline where you have the opportunity of getting out of bounds.
And Carroll's DBs are 30 yards off the line of scrimmage. And this one is incomplete, and again, receiver went to the inside, ball went to the outside. Incomplete pass, third down.
But their season's already over. No, they're 7-3. But their season's over. Like if they lose this.
So 5-yard penalty against Carroll College will take it to the 39. And it's 2nd and 5. Down to 38 seconds. Watson with the drop, throws out here to the flat and incomplete. Intended for Thomas. Good job by Graham back there in coverage. Get a good look at Dax in there. Third down coming up.
Well, we know that this is going to be 4 downs.
Yep.
You got 2 plays here to get a first down, keep the drive alive. But again, most important part is getting the ball to the outside to where these receivers can get out of bounds. Carroll's defense is going to be playing soft. They're going to be playing quarters along the field, making sure no one gets behind them.
Watson fires across the middle. That is caught at the 25-yard line. And wow.
Bobcats are going to have to run up and kill the clock, and that's what they're going to do.
Harrington on the catch. And Harrington, they will spike it with 22 seconds. The other thing is, too, it's a 2-possession game. You have to leave time on the clock after you score. So at this point, with 22 seconds, you've got to get in the end zone in the next 5 to 10 seconds if you have any chance at all, because then you've got to have at least a few ticks on the clock if you could recover an onside kick to maybe run a play and try a long field goal. And by the way, not to look too far ahead, but Lopez got a big leg.
Well, and here I like where they're at yardage-wise. They're at the 25. They got plenty of field to work to pass the ball into the end zone or even short of the end zone to run it in.
They go right back to Harrington, catch and a fumble. And they're saying incomplete pass.
They had a hook and ladder play going, because you can tell that off the catch that your receiver Harrington,
it's going to go to Thomas.
He was going to catch the ball and then give a little toss to Thomas on a hook and ladder, and just wasn't able to bring the ball in. I think he was looking at pitching it before he caught it.
Down to 16 seconds to play. Third down. Timeout taken by Carroll. So, in all reality, for the Bobcats, you've got one opportunity here. You've got one play to get into the end zone, 2 at the most, to leave any time at all left on the clock on an onside kick. Of course, this is the season for both of these teams. It's win or go home.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that you take these 2 downs that you have left and look at getting in the end zone, just so that, as you were mentioning, Chris, at least allowing yourself to have some time on the clock, 8 to 10 seconds you're hoping for the onside kick, and that right there is a challenge itself. We already seen an onside kick that the Bobcats weren't able to recover, and so there's a lot of variables at play right now.
Well, and the onside kick that they recovered but was called back. That was a deep onside kick. They had the ball at the 35-yard line. So I see what they're going to do now.
They're going to go for the field goal.
Kick the field goal now, and then try for. I think this is a smart play. Really, the only chance is Alvarez. The ball's going to be spotted at the 32, so this will be a 42-yard attempt, and he's got plenty of leg. Ball down, kick on the way, plenty of distance, and this one is up and through.
And it only took 4 seconds off the clock.
So here we go. 12 seconds remaining. Alvarez hits from 42, and now here comes the onside kick at 42-35. That was a smart bit of coaching there, because if you're going to continue that drive, you literally are not going to have any time left on the clock.
Right.
Even if you recover the onside kick. This way,
you save time on the clock.
You save time. You can get the ball back on an onside kick and still have a shot into the end zone.
Right.
And
Maybe
we've seen that act before already today, haven't we?
We have. Right there at the end of the first half with the Saints doing a Hail Mary and scoring. Here, if you're the special teams coordinator for Carroll, you've practiced this so much, going through your hands team, what to look for. So a lot of things are riding here for the Bobcats to get possession of the ball.
You got every guy on that Carroll bench that can catch a football. So here we go. This is your ball game right here. If the Saints recover, they win. And this one does not go. Doesn't go 10 yards.
But a Carroll player touched it before 10.
So it's a live ball.
It's a live ball.
And Carroll has it. That's ball game.
Yep.
There it is. Yeah, Orlandi falls on it. Why not? The MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in Frontier Conference, just gave Carroll College the victory in this one as they recover the onside kick. But what a great effort by the Bobcats of St. Thomas to come into Helena and make this one heck of a ball game. 42-35 is going to be the final score. Saints go into victory formation, and they took us to the end of this.
They did.
They made Carroll play 4 quarters of football.
Hats off to South Florida Bobcats.
And
they are a good team.
Yeah, they are. St. Thomas, congratulations on a huge effort today. They fall just short. And the celebration is on in Helena. Cue up the cannon. And there she goes. Carroll College moves on to the second round of the NAIA playoffs as they beat St. Thomas 42-35. That's your final. The Bobcats with a game effort late in the fourth quarter to keep this thing alive. And I think a lot of respect for both teams as they go out and shake hands at midfield. Here are the final numbers, Tyson, for the game. And you can see that, St. Thomas did more than hold their own.
Yep. And again, when we get the full stats, it's going to be pretty much even all the way down the board. It's just some of those miscues and those turnovers that kind of buried the Bobcats in this game.
Well, and for Carroll College, 2 things that stand out. The 6 tackles for loss for 52 yards and 3 interceptions. So defensively, Carroll shutting down the effort of St. Thomas. Now for the seniors, you breathe a big sigh of relief and you get ready to play another game as they'll find out who they'll face tomorrow in the second round, and of course join Montana Tech and the College of Idaho from the Frontier in the second round. Bobcats from St. Thomas out of the Sun Conference, their season comes to an end here in Helena today. 7-4 is their final. They had some big plays. Make no mistake, this was a good college football game. Thanks to our crew here at SWX for all the great work, as always, they do each and every week. We'll see you next week in Butte as Montana Tech swings into action. So for all of us at SWX, for our producer Dave Norman, our executive producer Bill Heiseman, thanks so much for watching. For Tyson Byers, I'm Chris Byers saying so long from Helena.